Just a few moments ago in the story about what's going on with the Orange County Board of Supervisors. Joining us to talk about that and many more political issues is Orange County Registered Political Reporter Peggy Lowe, who actually has been breaking story after story after story. You got to be thrilled with what's going on.
I'm having a lot of fun, thanks, yeah.
What actually is happening at this point? We saw the story and heard John Morlock said he's willing to reevaluate and do all kinds of things. Give us a lowdown on this.
Basically what John was referring to and reacting to what you guys caught today was a story that I published this morning that said on the very same day that they first started voting to cut the deputy sheriff's retroactive pension benefits, which is a big push by Morlock, they also voted to sweeten their own retirement deals. They have a deferred compensation deal. It's called a 401A. It's basically the government version of a 401K. And they increased their biweekly contribution from 6% to 8%. At the same time, they also gave themselves an increase in their monthly stipend for their car allowance from, I think it was around $600 to $765. So that's why many people on, were saying, like Doug Stone, for instance, that it's hypocritical.
Well, when you talk guys like Doug, and we know what the Sheriff's Deputies Union has had to say, but what about the other unions?
The other unions are kind of staying out of it at this point. And what's interesting is when they did vote for this increase, when the Supes voted for the increase in their own retirement perks, they also were voting on the largest county workers union's contract. And John referred to that as well. He said, I didn't want to vote against giving a raise to the other county workers because the Supes bennies were tied into that. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of staying quiet at this time, though clearly, all the unions support each other.
Briefly, the vote that they, to be able to increase their pension, is that going to affect the budget? Because that's one of the things that Morlock was concerned about, is that the sheriff's deputy's pension was going to bankrupt the county again.
Right. Well, according to Morlock's analysis of it, there's $100 million that he could save by cutting back on these deputies' pensions. However, I don't think that the increase that they approved on July 31st for themselves is going to break the bank. And certainly that is written into the budget. So I think the answer to your question is no.
I think all these there's a lot of political issues where they need to go back and evaluate budgets and salaries and everything else. Now, a recall on Janet Nguyen, what's happening there?
Actually, it's a recall on Trung Nguyen. And, I was talking to Maria before the show started, and I said, if the Bad News Bears of Politics were a new movie, this would be it. Because someone has launched a recall effort against Trung Nguyen. He sits on the Garden Grove Unified School District. But of course, Trung ran against Janet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for the Board of Supes. Well, the recall effort, in the papers that they filed saying that they're going to recall him from the Orange County Board of Education. Well, he's not even in that office.
So they'll win.
Well, any idea who's behind? Is there something where it's a smokescreen, or what's happening?
It looks like a group of Main Street business owners in Garden Grove. However, it's certainly added to all the animosity that's always going on in the blogosphere about the Little Saigon rivals, because Janet Nguyen's brother-in-law signed the recall petition. However, it was also then crossed out because he doesn't even live in that district. He lives in Yorba Linda, not Garden Grove, but he has a business on Main Street. And Janet said, I have nothing to do with this.
Well, I'm sure we're going to be hearing about it in the coming weeks. And this week we skipped Chris Street, but I'm sure next week we'll have more.
We'll bring it back.
Thanks, Peggy.
Nice to see you guys.